All right, welcome back, everyone. So I did want to talk about, I did get invited to Evocati. I'm not looking to get removed from it. My original take on this was very specific about some things, and I don't want to do that. I just want to talk about broad strokes based off of what Declan's about to show here. This is off of a Star Citizen Live from about 7 or 8 months ago at this point. So I will showcase this by sharing that link in the chat if you want to go take a look at this section to kind of get an overall understanding of more information that he's sharing here. But I want to share some broad strokes based off of this because a lot of this does to me appear to be similar to what was in the tech preview. So overall, there is, and again, I'm not going to talk about specifics here. I just want to talk about broad strokes. So you do have the option to take a look at the inventory on a more modular setup. You're able to kind of swap from local to your personal inventory. There's a little more ease of access. I was testing with my ship. You're able to kind of see, if you are in a C8R, if there's two kind of storage areas close together, I was able to kind of see those. I was testing with the Metapin. I was actually able to also see the storage from the medical bed as well, which I think is in live, but I haven't messed with it too much. So it's just interesting to see the capabilities to be able to kind of swap around those things. Additionally, it seems like kind of gone are the days of having to infinitely scroll up and down on your character's personal inventory. If you have stuff in your core and in your legs, you can kind of just more modularly keep one side open with the core and maybe the other side open with the backpack, or maybe the other side open with the legs if you want to kind of move where your cruise luxes are or something of that nature. You're still limited by the SCUs. There's also the increased capabilities to do filtering. You can have multiple things filtered at the same time. I actually kind of had to remind myself that I had guns and armors at the same time, but I wanted to just see armor. So you have to unfilter things in order to see just what you want to see, or you can see more things if you want to see more than one thing. There is a search feature that wasn't quite working correctly. They're working, they'll continue to refine a lot of this, right? This is a very early build, so there are issues with it. Although it was fairly smooth, I did find I got to a server error and I wasn't able to play anymore, so I didn't get to do a lot of testing. Plus, there's some issues with the current build and dying and losing your inventory. So there were too many capabilities of losing access to your inventory that I didn't get to do a lot of testing. I just tested it at the home location. On top of that, now they're going to showcase in this video here. He's going to showcase some of like inventory stats and stuff like that on particular items. I think that'll come with crafting. Obviously you can see crafting materials in this capture as well. None of that stuff was really here because wasn't about crafting. Although I suspect this would come along with crafting. So that would be my best guess. Again, your guess is as good as mine, but that would be my best guess, is it would go along pretty well with this. The ability to stack was good. That worked kind of well. You weren't able to do it on the local side, but you were able to do it on the the personal side. So that was interesting. So there are bugs with it, like I said. It was fun to be able to work with that stuff. You were able to use kind of the sort. There is a capability to kind of do that. Now, again, with crafting, I can see that being important because you would have like prestige levels for the particular guns, right? Crafting levels. You'd want maybe your top tier level 1 item to be at the top, whereas your level 3 item, you would want it to be towards the bottom. So it's good to do that. Right now, you can kind of sort for attachments, right? So you have your different size attachments, maybe different size weapons, different size components. So it doesn't fully work that way, but it does seem to be somewhat working that way. It was a little hit or miss, but that's the only functionality I can think of that being useful without crafting. On top of that, the equipment stuff is there, so you can actually change equipment. I do like that it's fairly modular. If you have a primary gun that has a muzzle device and can do a flashlight attachment, you can see that. Whereas if you have like a lot of the Volt weapons don't have the ability to put an attachment on with the muzzle device, so you couldn't actually do that. We kind of change it. There's a utility slot for the same, but it's not quite. I think that needs a bit of refinement. Currently, in my experience, it was one of the multi-tools had a little more functionality. I wasn't able to put the canister on, so you have to kind of use the J menu to do some modifications as you might see fit there. But the attachments could be put on there, kind of. Again, that needs to be kind of reworked because you can currently use 2 multi-tools and the other one goes in the melee slot, and so that does kind of show in the inventory, but it doesn't really change modularly like the primary and the secondary weapons do. Overall, it was a good experience. I wasn't able to wear a hat. Like, you could put glasses on, but I wasn't able to take my helmet off and put a hat on. So hopefully some of that stuff gets reworked with the later builds, as I like currently being able to have that contractor look where you can have a helmet on top of your hat. Then once you take the helmet off, you're wearing your hat. So some of that stuff needs to be kind of edited. Ideally, you could like put clothes on too, but I didn't really see that in this build either. Dragging and dropping is a little bit off, but hopefully they'll continue to work that. Overall, it was a good experience. Like I said, it worked fairly well until we had a server error and I couldn't really do any more testing. But let me know if you have any questions down below. I can do my best to answer those based off my experience. Again, I wanted to keep this broad strokes. I did enjoy the experience. I'm looking forward to these changes. It's a little weird to get used to being able to have a little more modularity with like being able to choose inventory local versus your local inventory versus your personal one on the different sides. So it's just getting used to a lot of these changes. Anyways, thank you all for checking out the video. I appreciate those taking time to like, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.